So, Warhammer World Anniversary Weekend revealed for the Orks a Codex, an amazing Big Mek, and possibly the wackiest battle force ever. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. As always, my name is Jay. And in this video I want to talk about the Orks, specifically the Ork things. Maybe I'll do another video on the Custodes version, the Custodes part of the announcement on the weekend. But this weekend, of course, was the Warhammer World Anniversary Weekend, and there were some announcements, right? A new Ork Codex, which we knew was coming, but awesome. A new Ork Codex is coming. But there were two other announcements for the Orks that I really want to talk about today, and they're both really interesting to me. I think they're both pretty cool, but I want your opinions. First of all, a new war boss was revealed, and he is really big, really badass. I absolutely love this model. I actually think it's probably the nicest Ork model. I think it's my favorite Ork model that they've ever released, to be honest. I love the complexity to this Big Mek. I love it. This new Big Mek model is completely just, he's huge. I love the robotic legs. I love the amount of character on this model. As you see, he has a gigantic gun. On the back of the gun, it's kind of like a the part of a shock attack gun. And just so much detail. It looks like there's going to be at least two variant heads, as you can see by one on the left and one on the right. There's two different versions of the heads, two different ways to build the guns as well. There's this giant, looks like a custom Mega Blasta on steroids, or there's another big gun. Again, we'll see what the rules are for these guys. They look really cool. In his right hand, he's holding a wrench, and in his left hand, he's holding a gigantic gun. He has some extra weapons as well, and he just looks so cool. I love the look of him, and I really do hope you too as well, because I just said it's just so cool. The only thing to me is it is a very, very, very busy model. Like, I'm going to have to spend time painting this guy, and it's going to be like every part will be, figured out, and I want to paint each part of slightly different colors so that they really stand out. I think the back of him is going to look very complex, but you know what? That's awesome. A Big Mek, this perfectly represents what a Big Mek should look like. I found some of the Big Mek with custom force field looks tiny and weak. The Big Mek shock attack gun is okay. This Big Mek is really what a Big Mek should look like from the lore, and I love the model overall. But what do you think? Leave comments in the comment section down below what you think about this model. Do you love it as much as I do? I love it. There's also a couple rules released for this model. For example, there's the rule regarding the Tractor Blasta, which is his big gun. It is anti-fly 3-up, devastating wounds, 36-inch range, 1-shot, BS 5-up, strength 10, AP -2, D6 +1. Now, obviously, a lot of people already brought up the fact that it's going to be 5s to hit. True. Now, I'm assuming that there are going to be detachment rules in this upcoming codex, like the previous ones for Bad Moons, where it was reroll 1s, or the Deaf Skulls one that was 1 reroll to hit, to wound, or to damage. And I really do hope that those detachment rules kind of stay in this upcoming codex, because that will really mitigate that. Like, you make the Deaf Skulls rule 1, and you just basically try to reroll the hit. It should be pretty easy to wound. I guess vehicles will be still a challenge, but if you get lucky, you can get hit. You can get devastating wounds as well. Anti-fly 3-up, so it can target flyers. And D6 +1. Pretty cool stuff with devastating wounds. That's pretty nasty. I think it's a pretty cool thing. Also, I'm assuming he's going to be able to lead like Ludas or Burna Boys. He's going to be able to lead squads for sure, because we already know about the next rule as well, which is Shock Boosta. So Shock Booster, you can reroll advanced rolls made for this model's unit. In addition, each time this model's unit makes a normal, advance, or fallback move, until that move is finished, models in that unit can move horizontally through models and terrain features, but cannot finish on a move on top of another model or its base. So cool. So this guy, whenever they move, he allows them to move ghostly, basically, and they can finish a wave, they can go through opposing squads, which is awesome. Or your own guys as well, or train features, which is very cool. It shows that he's able to lead squads as well. But as you can see here, I love the picture right now that I showed for the same rules. It shows that, as I said, it looks like it's the front of a shock attack gun, and it's just awesome. As I said, so much detail is in this model. I absolutely love it. And finally, a new battle force for the Orks was released. And this is where it gets really interesting, and I think you might be surprised of my answer. A new battle force for the Orks was released, and it's called Stompa Boys. And the foundation of this battle force is the Stompa. Which means that this is going to be the most debated, if this has any value, battle force ever. The Stompa is a very interesting model to make the foundation of a battle force. The Stompa is 800 points right now, has tons of guns, but it's the most far thing from competitive you can get. Now, I know people have mentioned this in previous videos. You shouldn't buy a model because it's uberly competitive. I know. So with this battle force, you get the Stompa. You get the new awesome BIG Mek, of course. So this is probably the only way you'll be able to get the BIG Mek at first. Wait another 3 to 5 months, you'll get the BIG Mek on its own for probably $50 to $60 Canadian, like 40 US probably. You get 10 boys. You get 10 Orks that can be built as either Ludas or Burna Boys, and you get a truck. So what do I think about this battle force? I actually like it. I'm probably going to buy it, to be honest. I've wanted a Stompa for a long time. Now, once again, I know that most Ork players who've been playing for years already have a Stompa, so they're probably not going to see the value in this battle force. The Stompa is a very, very old model as far as Ork models go, and it's not the most competitive, and a lot of people feel it's one of the most ugly Ork models there is. That being said, I actually like it. I've always wanted a Stompa. I really like the Stompa. I just always wanted one to play with and have fun, and I know it's not the most competitive model. I wouldn't bring it to a tournament unless I was really having fun. Its weapons can do damage, it's 800 points, and it's very easily dealt with in this current meta because it's easier to kill than Imperial Knight, and it's a Titan, and so it's not going to survive probably turn 1, and it's 800 points, so it represents 40 points of your army. That being said, it's really cool. And it's really cool looking. I've always wanted one, so maybe I'll buy it. Because I can always add another truck to my army. I could always add another squad of boys. 10 Ludas or Burna Boys. I'll probably go Burnas, because I have already... maybe a squad, I'll split up 5 and 5. And I love the new BIG Mek, and I love the Stompa. And there's tons of value in this box, right? In Canada, the boxes went on sale for about $280 each Canadian. This one has $460 MSRP worth of parts. And it's worth about 1,100 points, depending on how much the BIG Mek is, assuming the current points keep going for the next codex and so forth. That being said, of course, 800 points of the 1,100 points is really just the Stompa, right? A squad of boys is 85 points, truck 65, the Burna Boys are 60, and Ludas are 50, I believe. So the majority of the points is the Stompa. So it comes down to, do you need a Stompa? If you don't need a Stompa, this battle force is probably not for you. Unless you want to buy it, piecemeal it out, and sell the Stompa to someone else. Could work. Would this make a great battle force to start an army for Orks? Probably not. Unless you want to have just a fun Orky army. If I was to start an Ork army today, I wouldn't start with 10 boys. Well, 10 boys in a truck is a good starting point. Ludas, in combination with the new BIG Mek, might be really strong. So maybe 10 Ludas and the BIG Mek. That would be good as a supplementary force. The Stompa. It just comes down to really, if you really want to start your army with a Stompa, it could work. I like it. Would I buy this battle force? Yeah. I think this actually would make a good supplement. Battleforce to an Ork player who doesn't have a Stompa like me. You know, I'm one of the few Ork players I know that doesn't have one. Whatever. But for me, I see the value because another truck and a squad of boys never hurts. More Ludas, cool. Burning Boys, cool. The new Big Mek's awesome. And a Stompa's awesome. I've always wanted one. Also, what this does mean is the fact that since the Stompa is a part of this box set, you would be pretty safe to assume that Orks aren't getting a Stompa anytime soon. A new kit, right? They're not getting a new Stompa. A lot of Ork players have hoped that they'd be getting a new Stompa for the last like a couple editions. They're not going to get one this edition because they wouldn't make it up the foundation of this Battleforce just to turn around and create a new one in a month or two. I wouldn't see them that. I think it's pretty cool. As I said, I'm actually going to try to stay positive on this one. I see the value. Is if you really want a Stompa, there's tons of value in this box set. If you want to add a Stompa to your existing Ork army, tons of value in this box set, right? Because a Stompa is like $170 Canadian, and for an extra $110, you get a squad of boys, 2 squads of Ludas / Burning Boys, a truck, and an awesome Big Mek. You're going to save hundreds. Like it's like $200 in savings. If you get it at a discount store, even more, which is amazing. But I really love the announcements that were made on the weekend for Orks. The new Ork Big Mek is by far my favorite Big Mek, and probably my favorite Ork model to date. I love the detail. To me, he fits what an Ork Big Mek should be about. He has tons of character, complexity, and I really love the fact that if that's the future of the line of Orks, that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. But what do you think? What do you think about the Ork announcements? What do you think about the new Big Mek? What do you think about the Battleforce? I can totally see both sides of it. I'm actually going to stay on the positive side. I think it's cool. I might buy it myself because I want a Stompa. But of course, it comes down to the foundation being the Stompa, right? So please leave comments in the comment section down below what you think about the announcements on the weekend. What do you think about the new the new Ork Big Mek and the Stompa Battleforce? And as always, please like this video, comment in the comment section down below, and please subscribe to my channel if you already haven't done so. Really helps a lot. Hit that bell so every time I put out a new video, you get to see it. Stay tuned for more reviews and painting videos and painting challenge videos, and some tutorials are coming up. Until next time, this is Jay saying happy painting. Maybe your Stompa.